Namaskar children. We have finished off with the content of chapter Light, Reflection and Refraction. Today we are going to revise the concept of reflection once again, and we'll be doing this by discussing the most probable questions asked in the board exam from this topic. So this is the first question, which is a one marker, which is commonly asked in boards. You will be asked to complete the ray diagram, and any one of these ray diagrams will be given to you for completion. I have drawn 6 of them here just for increasing the practice. So suppose this is one of the diagrams that is given. There is a light ray which is passing through the focus from a concave mirror. You have to complete the ray diagram means you have to draw the reflected ray in all these cases. Now let us assume the first case where the light ray is passing through the focus. We know after reflection this light ray will become parallel to the principal axis. So in your answer you will have to redraw this diagram and also draw the reflected ray which will be parallel to the principal axis after reflection. Don't forget to mark the arrow which shows the direction of the reflected ray. Let us now consider the second case. Again it is a concave mirror and a light ray is incident parallel to the principal axis. After reflection we know this light is going to pass through the focus. Coming at the third case now. Again it is a concave mirror and an incident ray is striking at the pole of the mirror. Now to complete this ray diagram you will have to draw this angle and label it as angle of incidence, and you will be showing the reflected ray reflecting at the same angle, at an equal angle, which is angle of reflection. These three were for concave mirror. Now we have a ray diagram to be completed for convex mirror this time. You can see it is a convex mirror, the reflecting surface is curved outwards. So an incident ray which is parallel to the principal axis will be reflected such that it appears to come from the focus. So you will draw a dotted line and label the focus on the other side of the mirror. In the next ray diagram, which is again for a convex mirror, the incident ray is shown striking the mirror in the direction of focus. So this is the converse of the previous diagram that we completed. This ray which is incident in the direction of focus, it will become parallel to the principal axis after reflection. And the last case, where again on a convex mirror the incident ray is striking at the pole. Following the same steps as we did for a concave mirror, we will label the angle of incidence and we will draw the reflected ray at the same angle. So these are different examples of a one marker which can be asked in boards with the statement that complete the ray diagrams. Any one of them can be asked in a one marker. You have to be careful when you draw the reflected ray. You have to indicate the direction with these arrowheads, and wherever necessary you have to label the angle of incidence and angle of reflection also. Sometimes it will be asked in the question only that you have to label the angle of incidence and angle of reflection. So in that case you will be drawing. For example, in the first two cases of both the mirrors, convex and concave, we have not labeled the angle of incidence and reflection. If at all you are asked to do that, what you are going to do is, suppose in this case I have to mark the angle of incidence and reflection also. I'll mark first the center of curvature. You remember that from pole the focus and the center of curvature are at a fixed distance. The distance between focus and pole is half the distance between center and pole. So if you have to mark the angle of incidence and angle of reflection, you will be drawing a normal. Normal is the line which is going from the center towards the circumference of the mirror. And now since this is the normal, you can label easily the angle of incidence as well as the angle of reflection. So here is another one marker which is usually asked in the exam. It says, why does a ray of light passing through the center of curvature retrace its path after reflection from a concave mirror? So this is a concave mirror I have drawn. the surface which is curved inwards is the reflecting surface, and the outer surface has been shown that it is polished. I have labeled the focus and the center of curvature, and you have been asked that if a light ray passes through the center of curvature, this is something we have done in the rules also, after reflection it retraces its path. So you have to give the justification for this. Now remember, in case of spherical mirrors or any curved surface, a ray or a line which is going from the center towards the surface is perpendicular to the surface. That is how we draw normal to a curved surface. We take a line starting from the center, and when it reaches the surface, it is perpendicular to the surface. Or you can say the radius is always perpendicular to the circle or the curved surface. So in this case, a light ray which is passing through the center of curvature is also normal to the mirror. It is perpendicular to the mirror. So that means the light ray is falling at an angle of incidence which is 0 degree. Because center of curvature is also normal to the surface of the mirror, so that means normal to this mirror is also along the same direction. And we label the angle of incidence as the angle between the incident ray and the normal. Here in this case, the light ray which is passing through the center of curvature, the light ray is coinciding with the normal. So angle of incidence in this case is 0 degree. Now according to the law of reflection of light, which says that angle of incidence and angle of reflection are equal, the angle of reflection is also 0 here. And this is the reason why the light retraces its path. It's similar what we had done in case of plane mirrors also in class 7th. If this is a plane mirror, this is the normal to the mirror. If a light ray is incident along the same direction, that is along the normal, so in this case the angle of incidence is 0 degree. Because the angle between the incident ray and the normal is the angle of incidence, and they are not subtending any angle between them, they are coinciding, so angle of incidence is 0 and angle of reflection is also hence 0. So the light retraces its path. Same is the case here in case of a spherical mirror. To be specific, a concave mirror, when the light ray is incident in the direction of center of curvature, angle of incidence is 0 because the normal and the incident ray are coinciding, and hence the angle of reflection is also 0. The light ray retraces its path. So you will be drawing this diagram along with this reason, that angle I is 0 degree, hence angle R is also 0 degree, because angle I is equal to angle R by law of reflection of light. So that is the justification that you will give. Another commonly asked question is that what type of mirror is used as rear view mirror, face mirror or makeup mirror in solar furnace, and you have to give reason for a particular mirror being used in each case. So let us start with a rear view mirror. Rear view mirror is a convex mirror, and reason being because we know convex mirror always forms virtual and direct images. Also, it gives us a wider field view. That is the technical term that you are going to use in the exam. It gives wider field view. It can accommodate a larger area in a smaller image. So we call that situation that it gives a wider field view. And it gives virtual and direct images. So the driver can easily see what is the type of traffic coming from behind. So these are the two main reasons why a convex mirror is used as a rear view mirror. Next is mirror being used as face mirror or makeup mirror. Now for face mirror or a makeup mirror, we would want a virtual erect enlarged image of the face, which can be given only by a concave mirror. Virtual erect images are also formed by a convex mirror, but they are diminished. For a face mirror or makeup mirror, we want enlarged image that will be given by a concave mirror. And reason that you will be giving is because it forms virtual and direct image, and that too enlarged. So that is why face mirror or makeup mirror is a concave mirror. Also, I would like to mention here that a concave mirror being used as a face mirror or makeup mirror is the situation when the object is placed very close to the mirror. Remember, the last ray diagram that we had drawn for a concave mirror was when the object is placed between pole and focus of the mirror, somewhere in between the pole and focus. The image formed is virtually erect behind the mirror. It is magnified. It is this ray diagram which associates with this use of a concave mirror as a face mirror or makeup mirror. So sometimes you are asked this ray diagram indirectly in this manner. Why is a concave mirror used as a face mirror or a makeup mirror? Explain with the help of a ray diagram. So you will be drawing the last ray diagram here, where we show that the object when placed between pole and focus, the image formed is virtually erect magnified behind the mirror. The last case that we are going to consider is for a solar furnace. Solar furnace is a device which will concentrate the solar energy at a particular point or within a given region to increase the temperature to a particular limit so that things can be heated and a process can be carried out. So to concentrate sunlight to a point, the mirror which can be used is obviously going to be a concave mirror because it's a converging mirror. So the reason that you will give that why we are using a concave mirror in solar furnace would be because it is a converging mirror. It can focus or converge sunlight or the heat of the sunlight at a particular point. Next is a 2 marker that is asked for a particular mirror only. I am discussing both the mirrors in this question, but if it is a 2-mark question, you will be asked for only one type of mirror. It says, why is the focal length of a concave mirror taken negative and convex mirror taken positive? Explain with the help of ray diagram and sign conventions. So as I said, for a 2-marker question, you will be asked only either for concave mirror or convex mirror. I am discussing both in one go so that you are able to understand the difference between the two. So let us first understand for a concave mirror. Concave would mean the reflecting side is curved inwards. So this side is polished. This is the principal axis which is passing through the pole and the center of curvature. And between the pole and center of curvature, exactly in between is the focus point. So focal length is the distance between the pole and the focus. And how do we define focus is that point on the principal axis where parallel light rays after reflection meet. So this is the point, suppose, where these parallel light rays which were incident after reflection, they are meeting. So this is the focus point for a concave mirror. Now ray diagram we have drawn. Sign conventions that we are going to use to justify the negative focal length are as follows. You will write the first point is all distances are measured from pole. All distances are measured from pole and distances in the direction of incident light are taken positive and opposite to the incident light are taken negative. Now in this case, if all distances are measured from pole, we are going to start from the pole, and to measure this distance, we are going to move in a direction opposite to the incident light. Incident light is coming in this direction. For measuring focal length, we will start from the pole and move in the opposite direction of incident light. So this distance is taken negative. Hence, the focal length of a concave mirror is negative. I again repeat, we have drawn the ray diagram to show the focus point. And the sign conventions which are going to justify are all distances are measured from pole. And the second point you will be writing is that all distances in direction of incident light are taken positive and all distances opposite to direction of incident light are negative. So keeping both these sign conventions in mind and this ray diagram, we are able to justify why we take concave mirror focal length as negative. Similarly, for a convex mirror, now for a convex mirror would mean curved surface outwards is the reflecting surface and this is the polished side. This is the principal axis which is passing through the pole and the center of curvature, and exactly in between these 2 points would be the virtual focus. Why do I call it a virtual focus? Because light rays are not going to exactly meet here. For a concave mirror, it was a real focus. Light rays are actually meeting. For a convex mirror, it's a virtual focus. Light is not going to meet here. So parallel light rays incident on the mirror, we know by the laws of reflection and the rules to draw the ray diagrams. These parallel rays will be diverged in the direction of focus. It would appear as if they are coming from the focus behind the mirror. So these rays will be diverged. This is the focus point. And to measure this distance between pole and focus, we are going to travel in a direction of incident light. We will travel in this direction. Keeping the same two sign convention points in mind, all distances are measured from pole. To measure this distance, we will move from the pole towards the focus in the direction of incident light, you can see. So hence focal length of a convex mirror is taken positive. So ray diagrams as well as the 2 points of sign conventions you will be writing to justify why focal length of concave mirror is negative and convex mirror is positive. Let us solve this numerical, which says a 1 centimeter high object is placed 10 centimeter from a concave mirror. Focal length of the mirror is given 15 centimeter. You have to find the image distance, image height, and properties of the image. So in the question it is given that it's a 1 centimeter high object, so that means height of the object is 1 centimeter. It is placed at a distance of 10 centimeter, so that means object distance is minus 10 centimeter, minus because of the sign convention. The focal length of the concave mirror is 15 centimeter. So since the mirror is concave, we take the focal length negative. You have to find the image position, the height of the image, and the nature of the image. So using the focal length and the object distance, we use the mirror formula which says 1 by f is 1 by v plus 1 by u, and we will calculate it for v. So focal length value we put minus 15, v is to be calculated, and u is minus 10. Now solving this for v, 1 by v is minus 1 by 15 plus 1 by 10. Simplifying this fraction further, we get 1 by v is, take the LCM, 30. So we get minus 2 plus 3 in the numerator, and 1 by v becomes 1 by 30, or we can say v is 30 centimeter. So the position of the image we have calculated as 30 centimeters. Also we have to find the height of the image. So for height of the image we have the formula for magnification which says hi upon ho is v by u, negative v by u in case of mirrors. So putting the values here and solving for hi is to be calculated, ho is 1, v is 30, negative is because of the formula, and u is minus 10. So negative goes off, 30 by 10 is simply 3. So hi is 3 centimeter. Now you can clearly see here that height of the image is coming out to be positive. That means it's a virtual and erect image. If it would have been an inverted image, height of the image would have been negative. We are getting a positive height here, hi is 3 centimeter, so that means it's a virtual and erect image. Also, looking at the data given in the question, you can very well make out what is the type of the image. Focal length is 15 and the object is placed at 10. So if you try to visualize, the object is placed in a range between pole and the focus. So this is the last ray diagram of a concave mirror where the object is placed between the pole, which is the 0 in case of mirror, and the focus, which is 15 in this case. Object is placed at 10 somewhere in between the pole and the focus. So the image formed would be virtual erect behind the mirror and magnified. So you can see height of the object is 1 and height of the image is coming out to be 3. So it's a magnified image, and since height is positive, so that means it's a virtual and erect image. So children, here is another question based on the mirror formula, but it is slightly different from the ones which we have already done. In this question, the magnification produced by a spherical mirror is given. It is given -2. So m is given -2. When the object is placed at 10 centimeter from its pole. Object placed at 10 centimeter, that means this is the value of u given to us. U, that is object distance. So object distance is given 10 centimeter, and by sign conventions we know we are going to take u negative always. You have to first identify the mirror. Now children, you already know that the sign of magnification will give you an idea about the nature of the image. We know when magnification is positive, this implies image is virtual and direct. And when magnification is negative, it implies the image is real and inverted. Now in this case, since magnification is negative, it's a real and inverted image. And real and inverted images are only formed by concave mirror. So we have identified the mirror by looking at the sign of the magnification, that is negative, which indicates it's a real and inverted image, which are only formed by concave mirrors. So it's a concave mirror here. Also, you have to find the focal length of the mirror. You have to find the image distance and the distance between the object and the image. So to find focal length, obviously we would require the image distance. So we'll start from the magnification formula first. In mirrors, magnification is given by -v by u. So putting the values in this formula, what do I get? I put m as -2, v is what we are going to calculate, and u in the question is given as -10. So calculating it further, the negative goes off and v comes out to be -20 centimeters. So using the magnification formula, we have calculated v as -20 centimeter. Now we know u as -10, v we have calculated -20, and using these in the mirror formula, we'll calculate the focal length of the mirror. So now according to the mirror formula, 1 by f is 1 by v plus 1 by u. Focal length we are going to calculate. V we just calculated as -20, and u is given in the question as -10. So simplifying these fractions further by taking the LCM, I get 1 by f is 20 is the LCM, -1 -2. So this becomes -3 by 20, or I can write focal length is -20 by 3 centimeters, or 6.66 centimeter. This is a non-terminating decimal. I leave it here. Negative 6.66 centimeters. So we have calculated focal length of the mirror, which is negative as expected. It's a concave mirror. And we have already calculated v as -20 centimeter. Now the last thing to be calculated is the distance between the object and the image. So looking at the question till now, it's a concave mirror. Focal length we just calculated as 6.6 centimeter negative. Also the object is placed at 10 centimeter negative. It is given in the question. And the image is obtained at 20 centimeter. We calculated this at 20 centimeter. So this is the situation. You have to find the distance between the object and the image. Now clearly looking at this rough diagram that we have drawn, just to know where exactly are the positioning of the focus of the object and of the image, these are the values that we have obtained in the question or which were already given in the question. So looking at this, we can simply make out distance between object and image is 10 centimeters. If the question asks you the distance between object and the image, you have to simply give the distance between the object and the image, ignoring the sign of object distance and image distance. You have just been asked the gap in between them. They are placed at a distance of 10 centimeter that you can clearly see. Object is at -10, image is at -20. So the gap in between is of 10 centimeter. So C part you will be answering that the distance between the object and the image is 10 centimeter. You are not supposed to mention negative here. You have just been asked the distance or the gap between the object and the image. This is another question. It says magnification produced by a mirror is 3. So that is positive 3. When the object is placed at 15 centimeter from its pole. So according to the data given in the question, you have been given the magnification as 3 and the object is being placed at 15 centimeter. So that means u is minus 15 centimeter given in the question. You have to identify the mirror first and then find the focal length and the image distance. Also you have to draw the ray diagram this time. So m is given and u is given. You have to identify the mirror. Now looking at the value of magnification again gives you a clear indication that which mirror are we talking about. Magnification being positive, we discussed this in the previous question also, implies that the image is virtual and direct. And the modulus of the magnification, the value of the magnification, the numerical value is greater than 1, which implies that the image is enlarged. So enlarged virtual erect image can only be formed by a concave mirror. Virtual erect images are formed by a convex mirror as well, but it cannot form enlarged images. Convex mirror magnification will always be less than 1. A number greater than 1 in magnification, and that too positive, clearly indicates it's a concave mirror. Remember the last ray diagram of concave mirror? When the image is virtually erect and magnified, when the object is very close to the mirror, between the pole and the focus of the mirror. So mirror we have identified, it's a concave mirror since the magnification is positive and greater than 1. Magnified virtual erect images can only be formed by concave. Convex forms small or diminished virtual erect images. Now, coming back to the question, you have to find the focal length as well as the image distance. Again, we will follow the similar steps as we did in the previous question. We will calculate the image distance first from the magnification and the object distance given. So, m in case of mirrors is minus v by u, or putting the values, 3 is equal to minus v, that is what we will calculate, and u is minus 15. So the negative goes off and v here is left as 15 into 3, that is 45 centimeter. So we have calculated the image distance 45 centimeter. As expected, image distance is coming out to be positive because the image is virtual and direct behind the mirror. So v we have calculated, u is already given. I can clearly find the focal length by using the lens formula, which says 1 by f is 1 by v plus 1 by u. 1 by f we will calculate, 1 by v is 1 by 45 and u given in the question 15. Now solving this fraction further, taking the LCM as 45, I get 1 minus 3. So 1 by f is 1 minus 3 divided by 45. Further simplifying it, I get 1 by f is minus 2 by 45 from this fraction, or reciprocal, which is focal length, is minus 45 by 2. In decimal representation it becomes minus 22.5 centimeters. Negative focal length is again clearly indicating it's a concave mirror. So we have calculated the image distance as well as the focal length. Now we are left to draw the ray diagram of the mirror. Remember, as already told, this situation is the last ray diagram of a concave mirror where object is placed between pole and focus and it forms a virtual erect enlarged image. That is when a concave mirror is also used as a face mirror or makeup mirror. Also a dentist mirror. Now children, we are left to draw the ray diagram. To draw the ray diagram in such cases, that means when a numerical is there and related to the numerical, then you have been asked to draw the ray diagram. You have to be careful that the values that are given in the question have to be labeled in the diagram. For example, if this is the concave mirror that I have drawn, I have labeled the pole. Let this be the focus point. So I'll label this focus point as 22.5 because I have calculated in the question the focal length to be 22.5. So let this focus is at 22.5. Again, you need not measure these length. We have just written 22.5 here just to indicate that we have comprehended the situation. We know focus at 22.5, that what we have calculated, this is what it means. This point F is at 22.5. Now you can see the object is placed at 15 centimeter. Now pole is the 0 in case of mirrors. Focus is at 22.5. Object is kept at 15. So that means somewhere here, somewhere between 0 and 22.5, 15. Object is somewhere here. Say this is 15. You need not measure. We are just writing this as 15. We are representing this is 15 centimeter. Now we will complete the ray diagram. We know in this case, when the object is placed between the pole and the focus, the two rays that we assume can be one which goes to the pole at an angle will be reflected from the pole at the same angle. So let this be the first ray. And let the second ray is the one which strikes the object and passes through the center of curvature. It will retrace its path after reflection. So these are the two diverging rays which is coming from the mirror after reflection. These both reflected rays, when produced back, they will give a virtual, erect and enlarged image somewhere here. So let if the object is AB, this image here is A dash B dash, a magnified virtual erect image. And this distance given in the question, not given in the question, we calculated this distance as 45 centimeter. So you can label this point as 45. This distance is 45 centimeter. I hope the labeling of these distances with this data given in the question is clear to all.